الفدا لم نخن
فدائي 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 يا أرضي يا أرض الجدود فدائي 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 يا شعبي يا شعب الخلود.
Welcome back. As we said earlier, that the Prime Minister, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, have participated on behalf of His Excellency, the Head of State, President Abdel Fattah Sisi, in the Global Gateway in Brussels, and use that particular forum or gateway. The Global Gateway is EU's most important forum that brings together over 40 high-level government representatives, financial institutions, and business representatives to discuss the world's investment needs, debate solutions, and seal new deals. And with us live over the phone is Professor Dr. Maged Karamuddin, his Technical Director, Regional Center for Renewable Energy. Good morning, Dr. Karamuddin.
Good morning.
Let us first talk about the EU's Global Gateway Forum and exactly a quick definition over that important forum that is gathering more than 40 high-level government representatives and financial also experts and many other characters.
Well, the Global Gateway is the European strategy to boost smart, clean, and secure connections. This is in digital, energy, and transport sectors. So they are focusing on these three main sectors. And also they focus on strengthening health, education, and research system across the globe, across all over the world, I mean. And so it is somehow the position of the European Union towards how to collaborate through international collaboration. And this means that they mobilize around 300 billion euros into investments in these specific fields that we have mentioned. The Global Gateway is bringing together the EU, its member states, of course, and also the financial and development institutions across the world. They try to mobilize private investments so that we have what we call leverage impact. That means that we would, by putting these financial resources, the 300 billion we refer to across the globe, this would leverage several more hundreds of billions in investments all over the world. And the implemented projects all over the world, for example, in Latin America, in Caribbean, in the Middle East, of course, Asia, Pacific, and also in Sub-Saharan Africa, which is getting a lot of focus during this time. So our Egypt presence in this reflects, of course, the importance of Egypt in its not only on the regional arena, but also in the international community, and how Egypt is seen as a hub for the future of the collaboration across between the European Union and the other regional partners.
Right. Dr. Karamuddin, how do you read the theme Stronger Together Through Sustainable Investment? That's a very catchy title. So how do you read it, and what exactly does it signify in that particular forum?
Okay, when we discuss investments, we are looking into this as a tool, in fact, as a tool to address problems of poor infrastructure, damage to the environment because of pollutants that's coming from the industry, from the transport sector, etc. And also the lack of access to healthcare, education. These sort of problems in fact, across the world, and do not acknowledge that there is a border between countries. But in fact, this is a common global problem. And in recognition of this, the concept is to connect countries and regions around the globe to encourage these public-private partnerships, public-private investments together. And this for the objective of sustainability. And when we speak about sustainability, not only continuing investment and finance for the projects, but also that is what Egypt has emphasized in the COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, just transition. The just transition means that we look into the socio-economic impact, the impact on the people, on creating jobs, in better livelihood, in better health and educational services, etc. So this is the concept, and sustainability means in general that we improve the present time, but also take into consideration the right of the future generation to enjoy their life, to find the resources, to have a good living conditions. So it is important. The slogan is really good. It reflects that we need to collaborate, we need to work together, public and private, to create a good present for the time being, for now, for the present, and also for the future generation.
Right. During his participation in the forum, Egypt approved the electricity export project, a memorandum of understanding with Belgium's Yonder Null and EETC. So we need to know more details about that important memorandum of understanding.
Yes. In fact, Dr. Madbouli, in fact, has made several important meetings during this forum. And especially this company that you refer to is a company that has a lot of ambitions in terms of installing projects, projects in Egypt. And implementing projects in Egypt means, especially in the domain of green hydrogen, and also other, like the development of ports and so on. For the hydrogen in particular, if you remember, the company chairman has met His Excellency President Fattah al-Sisi earlier this year, and they have expressed their interest as a company to have big projects in Egypt. A big green hydrogen project in Gargoub area. If you remember, this was one of the most important projects that was on behalf of the attention a few months ago. And in fact, the interest of this company to work in Egypt reflect that they see the Egyptian, I would say, the Egyptian direction toward green hydrogen is as convincing and as a good commitment toward energy transition, which means that Egypt is taking measures right now to support the investment in green hydrogen and in attracting foreign direct investment. And if you remember, just last month, Egypt took the decision to have a Supreme Council for hydrogen, for green hydrogen and its derivative. And this signifies that they would like all ministries to work together to facilitate the green hydrogen transition. And also, there is some sort of new, there is a draft law, in fact, that is submitted now to the parliament. And this draft law is giving, almost doubling the incentives that are common in the private investment framework toward the green hydrogen production. And the company that met Dr. Mustafa Madbouli is making, in fact, a bigger step into that through having their own facilities here in Egypt and exporting this to Europe, exporting the green hydrogen produced to Europe, and also, in fact, trying as much as we can to source several components of the project in Egypt and also sell part in the local market.
Right.
Now, where are they now? They are now finalizing the agreement, and the project is being now pursued by several ministries, including transport, including oil and gas, including the Minister of Electricity, and so on. The project will be on 3 phases. The first phase will be around $3 billion, and as I said earlier, it will be mostly for export to the European market.
Right. How important is it to export electricity from renewable energy from Egypt to Europe via the Mediterranean Sea? The line, I mean.
Okay. Okay. We have 2 things here. We have the export of electricity as electricity, and we have the export of green hydrogen as a product itself, or ammonia or alternative fuels produced by this. For the electricity, this sort of agreements between that was in fact announced between Egypt and several companies, several institutions, etc., in the world, This sort of agreement highlights that Egypt is considered as a hub for interconnection, and I mean energy interconnection. And here we are using submarine cables, electricity cables that will transfer electricity from Egypt to several countries, in fact. And already Egypt is interconnected now, as you know, with Jordan and with Libya, and Jordan is connected to what we call Mashriq countries. And also on the other side, Egypt is now being connected to Saudi Arabia, which means that we'll be interconnected to the Gulf countries, and Egypt is connected to Sudan. Once the situation improves there, this means that we will be also interconnected to the African networks. So this represents how Egypt is a hub for electricity interconnection. And linking to Europe, this means that we are able now to export green electricity. Green electricity means that this electricity is coming from renewable resources, wind and solar. And if you see what Dr. Madbouli said in his statement, in his remarks in the Global Forum, Global Gateway Forum, he highlighted that Egypt has revised the target of renewable energy, and he announced the new target. The new target now is 42%, which is the same as the previous target, but 5 years earlier. Now it is 2030, not 2035, as was communicated last year and the years before. So now we have more ambitious target, accelerated time frame, and this means that now we are going to have we would have more than 100 megawatt installed capacity, and out of this, we would need around 50 gigawatts or more. In fact, maybe reaching 60 gigawatts of renewable electricity. And this size of projects is huge. These are billions of dollars to be invested in Egypt for satisfying the national needs and also exporting to Europe and neighboring countries. And being green, this means that they are very much fitting the objectives of the sustainable energy transition, for the green transition, and matching the objectives of the European Union and in general the international community for abating climate change, for also sustainable development.
Right. Why was that project described as the strategic? Put in the frame of a strategic project for both Egypt and Europe. Why was it described so?
Why strategic? Strategic means because it will be, in fact, the first interconnection between Egypt and European countries, and this it will open the way for further expansion in this direction. We know that now that we have very few interconnectors in the Middle East and North African region. In Morocco, for example, in Algeria for gas pipeline, but in the eastern side of the Mediterranean, it is not that much there, that this connection, except in Turkey, of course, because they are on the land, they are connected to Europe. So what I'm saying that this would be, in fact, the first, and it will allow not only for Egypt to export, but also in the future, the possibilities of expansion would allow Egypt to in fact, export Africa renewable energy to Europe also, which would be huge. And this means in the future satisfying, in fact, helping Europe to have not only to satisfy the energy needs, but also to have what we call energy security. And we understand the concern of energy security, especially after the Russian-Ukrainian war and how the prices of electricity and energy in Europe hiked. So it's somehow stabilizing the prices, ensuring energy security, diversifying the resources, and this is a strategic dimension. It is not just electricity supply.
How do you see the keenness of Egypt to setting ambitious plans to extend the marine electricity transmission lines to several European countries?
Can you say again, please? I'm sorry.
I was asking. How do you preserve, or how do you read Egypt's keenness on setting ambitious plans to extend marine electricity transmission lines to several European countries?
This is a direction on the right way, I would say. We would, in fact, through this, you are emphasizing the fact that you are not able only, as Egypt, as Egyptians, we are not able only to satisfy our own need, but we are able also to help others to grow and to develop. And especially with the case of Europe, it's not only about, as I said, not only about development, sustainable development, but it's also about helping them to achieve the energy security objectives and also contributing to the global direction of reducing carbon emission and greenhouse gas emission. So we are, in fact, let's say, showcasing, giving the example that when we say that we will foster energy transition, we will collaborate with all partners to achieve this green transition, walking the talk, as we say. So, and leading by example also. This is one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is we know that the opportunity in the future, that the energy system all over the world is changing right now. Yes, it will rely for a while on oil and gas, but the future is for green technologies. And while we are moving into these green technologies, we are also maintaining our leadership in the market, in the oil and gas market. We are maintaining our leadership also in the global collaboration arena. We are maintaining our leadership also for the African continent and helping them also to export their needs to Europe. And also helping the European to find markets, and not only the European. In fact, we have also agreements with China, with Korea, with Japan, with several partner countries. We are helping them to support us in helping our continent as Africa to grow. So there are multi-facet, I would say, benefits of this, and these benefits are all would help us, in fact, to develop our also economy. Will also help us to develop our economy, and will help us to also having better job opportunities, better socio-economic development in the society as a whole.
Right. During his visit, the Prime Minister asserted significance of the strategic partnership between European government and the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. He said it's in a set of key projects which would come in multiple sectors. So if you like to elaborate over that also.
Yes, this is very important. In fact, Egypt is one of the countries that are collaborating significantly with the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, EBRD. And Dr. Madbouli met with Madam Adel Rino Basso, the director or the boss of the chief in the bank, the EBRD bank. And in fact, there is a strong partnership here. And the EBRD contribution to several projects in Egypt is important for both sides, in fact. For us in Egypt, it helped Egypt to realize several projects that helped to reduce the unemployment rate, in fact. And if you look into the projects that were financed, you will find them, in fact, touching several aspects. Not only related to energy, and we discussed a lot, for example, Binban projects, also financing small and medium enterprises to have sustainable energy technologies and climate-friendly technologies. These sort of projects, in fact, helped Egypt, in fact, to reduce, contributed, of course, not only them, but they helped Egypt to reduce the unemployment rate from the 2013 rate of 13% to around 7% right now in Egypt. And this means for Europe what? This means that for Europe, whenever the rate of unemployment in the southern part of the Mediterranean is lower, means that lower immigration waves, for example. And this is an important part for them. But when we speak about the support given by EBRD, it helped us also to move forward with our programs in renewable energy, in energy efficiency, in supporting small and medium enterprises, and mobilizing the different sectors like water, energy, and food sectors. Also, when they both Dr. Madbouli and Her Excellency also
Right.
Madame Odell Renobasso. When they met, they discussed the possibilities for water desalination. And we know how important is the water issues for Egypt. And having a project on water desalination would help Egypt to somehow face some of the challenges in this regard. So this is part of how we look into the future portfolio of investments.
Right.
And EBRD is mostly supporting private investments. So which means that we are making benefit of the promotion and I would say supporting measures and incentives we are giving to private investment, and we are giving possibilities of finance through the bank.
Right, exactly. Professor Dr. Maged Karameddin, you are a Technical Director, Regional Center for Renewable Energy. I'd like to thank you, sir, talking to The Breakfast Show. And we're going to go to a short break and we'll come to continue The Breakfast Show, so stay with us.
نحن جند الله جند